Hi guys. It is a Saturday afternoon. We are here. We're just going to give you guys a quick update on some of the things that we're learning from our Iowa Hawkeyes as they practice down in Tampa. Is that where they're at? Tampa.
Yeah,
Anyway, somewhere in Florida.
Tampa. Yep.
Okay. So anyway, just to kind of get you an update on some things. There's some injury news. There's some non-injury news. There's other good news coming out of it, but we're going to start with what Calvin would like to mention, something big that he wanted to talk about real first. So go for
Well,
it.
the big news for me today was the headline should say, and then there were four, because Clemson lost today, so they didn't hit the 8-win plateau this year, which leaves only four teams standing the last 11 years with 8 wins, and that's Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. No, not Clemson. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and our Iowa Hawkeyes. Those are the only four teams in the nation, whether they're Big 12, Pac 12, ACC, and it comes out that there's the four that's standing are in the two biggest power conferences, the SEC and the Big 10. One of those teams is not elite as far as talent, but Kirk has done it. Scott Docterman terms it as Iowa's COVID year of 6-2 is a better than an 8-win season. The Michigan fans try to get into the group by saying COVID don't count and that their losing season, I think they went 2-4 that year, don't count, but that don't cut it. And anyway, we're in that Mount Rushmore of four teams, and I'm very proud. I'm proud to be a Hawkeye fan. Proud of Kirk and proud of the players. They're the ones that do it. And anyway, that's my news. And Penn State beat them today. Penn State, of course, their starting quarterback was injured and out for the season. Their two star running backs, opted out, and their whole offensive line opted out, and they still beat Clemson fairly handily. So I was happy.
Was it 22-10 or something like that? Final score.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You got to give Penn State credit. 33 opt-outs or injuries, and Penn State still finds a way to win this game. It wasn't a very offensive-minded game, except the last couple drives for Penn State. They put some touchdowns on the board late.
and the wind chill there was about 18 degrees.
Yeah, I know. That's why I never want Iowa to go to the Pinstripe Bowl.
Well, I'd play any SEC team in the Pinstripe Bowl if I was Iowa. See how they like it. We have to go play it. We have to go play in their hot weather and everything. They ought to come up and play at Kinnick Stadium in a blizzard once in a while, I think. But let's even it up a little bit. See, if they'd played some Rose Bowls at Kinnick, we'd have won some. But that's the way I see it.
You probably aren't too far off the beat.
Well, Hayden would comment, these guys were practicing in Iowa City. It's like some days it's 0. Sometimes if you're lucky, it's 30 degrees. And he says, then we go out to Pasadena and all of a sudden it's like 80 degrees. Our guys are like sweating like pigs, because they ain't used to it. I know we went out a week ahead of time or something, but you just don't get used to that, but anyway, that's my news as far as I don't feel sorry for Penn State having those players sit out because, listen, Penn State, the rest of their squad is 4 stars at least. That quarterback of theirs, Drunkenmeyer, whatever his name is, I think if Rocco Brecht went to Penn State, if Matt Campbell didn't favor Rocco Brecht, that Drunkenmeyer might beat him out. Boy, he's got an arm.
It's Grunkenmeyer with a G.
Drunkenmeyer?
Grunkenmeyer.
Okay.
But yes, I think Grunkenmeyer has.
I know that if he was playing for us, I'd just call him Drunk. We got Gronk, and then we go to Drunk. So anyway.
Well, Grunkenmeyer, I think if he doesn't jump in the portal or anything, I think he solidified his starting spot for next season.
I have no idea.
I don't either. I mean, this is not about Penn State because we don't even play them next year. So
no, it's all about us being in those 4 schools that have done that for 11 years. That's what this is all about. Now you lead the podcast wherever you want to with the news of the day from the bowl scene.
Okay, all right. So the last couple of days, as everyone knows, the media has had access to talk to these guys, some of the players and some of the coaches, and so some of the things that are coming out of there is the media finding out who's dressed, who's not dressed, who's not practicing, and who actually is practicing. And you want to go down the list of some of those guys real quick? I got it right here, but I wanted to give you that opportunity.
It turns out, Bowie, who hasn't been able to practice or play since March with soft tissue injuries in his leg, probably something like Caitlin had, he was dressed and practicing today. He's back. And he's a good player. The other news was that Phil says that TJ Hall is playing. He said we could have played him in an emergency in the Nebraska game. He was just left off the depth chart because, Kirk don't care about depth charts. He never updated it, probably. The other thing is, of course, TJ Washington's in the portal and not playing. Stratton is there. Somebody said they seen number 19 out there on the field. I don't know, if he wouldn't play, but he's in very good standing with the coaches, and he deserved to go on the bowl trip, And
I don't understand though. Before you go on, my question is I don't understand. I know that Washington is going to be in the portal. Obviously, he's not there yet, but why not let him practice with the team and play in the game?
They probably told him he could,
and he's choosing not to.
That's what I presume. Why risk an injury or something? But I don't know. Maybe he is there. But I would presume Tom Kakert and Chad would have said, "Oh, TJ Washington is there at practice, number 8." But
no, he's not.
I'm not know for sure.
They said he's not there, so
it was either last year or the year before. Dallas Cradieth, who was a 5th-year senior, he never played hardly at all at Iowa. He was a highly rated recruit. The defensive back, he went in the portal and he chose another school before the bowl game, and Kirk let him play on special teams in the bowl game last year. If you're in good standing, and you want to play, there's no reason, if it's okay with the coach and it's okay with the player, that's another body. Especially TJ Washington was a very good blocker. If you watch on the Wet Jets returns, TJ Washington was very key. Especially on kickoff returns, he was the guy that was leading Weechin into the hole on kickoffs. He's the guy that was in front of Weechin the whole way on the Rutgers touchdown kick return. He didn't got touched. He was the guy out in front of him pushing that kicker or whoever he was in front. But as far as injuries, it's pretty simple. As far as I can tell, the only player that I know that's out is Estrenga. They said McNeil was not practicing today, but they interviewed McNeil and he said it's possible he'll play just day to day to see if he gets better in the next couple days. So
okay. So that's interesting because that would be great because we could use his legs, but we still have 3 bodies to go: Williams, Moulton, and
Patterson.
Yeah. Why do I always forget about Jazz? Chaz, my man.
And Brevin Dahl's back.
Yeah. And so
Uh,
he could actually play, but he's not been on the injured list all year. So I mean, you said that he was injured, but when they showed the injury list for every game, it never
yeah.
showed that he was actually out.
Much of the season he wasn't injured. He was just helping on the scout team because he wasn't in the top 5.
Mhm.
But
I always thought he would be good for us because of his speed, but maybe we can get him on the return team
I
next
don't know.
year.
I have never. Everybody's real high on him, and I am too when he come out of high school. But I have never seen him play in my life.
Yeah.
I guess I watched tape, but his whole senior season, he missed the whole season. I think the first game of the season, he broke his arm. So I never got to see him play his senior year. But anyway, so really everybody's healthy except we know Estrenga's out. As far as I can tell, I can't think of anybody else. There was an offensive lineman that missed most of the season. Was it Nolan or McCaslin? One of them redshirt freshman offensive linemen had a major injury. They might be out, but anyway.
Well, they did. I don't remember that name showing on the outs or too. Unless they just have certain players that they won't list what because they're not going to play no matter what.
I don't know, but
well, I want to look at something here. Then
the coaches that were interviewed today were Parker and LeVar Woods.
Yeah. Now I got to say, Parker today mentioned Buffington and Wallace, Godfrey, and Watson. And I think which one did he say they call Wally?
Wallace. He either called him Wally or Waller. I couldn't understand exactly what Phil said, but
he said Wally. Okay. All right. And then he also threw the name out there, Drew Campbell and Kennedy, for the D line. I didn't know Drew Campbell was a D lineman. I thought he was a linebacker like his brother.
Well, no, he'd never make a linebacker. What I want to know is he missed the summer, maybe the spring, but he missed a lot of time because he had to have a major he missed the spring and then he missed in the fall because he had to have both shoulders operated on. They had one shoulder operated on and then they operated on the other. And then he got back about the 1st of October. And that's, when you have shoulders operated on, you can't lift weights, you can't do all you got to do to bulk up. So that sounded really good that Drew has progressed like that. I would like to know whether he's gained weight and he's interior or defensive end, so.
Yeah.
Right, and then Kennedy, of course, Kennedy's dad's very famous, 1st-round draft pick, played for Penn State. He's from Arizona, and he's the one defensive tackle we recruited the last 3 years that you would term as having a really super upside because of his athletic ability. He needed to gain a lot of weight, and they let him play defensive end a little bit, but Kelvin Bell said this early before the first game. He said, as soon as we moved Kennedy to the interior of the line, his genetics clicked in. That's where his dad played, and he was just a naturally gifted guy interior. He just needed to gain weight. So that's
so we were able to out recruit this guy from from Penn State. So he wasn't.
Nobody wanted him.
Penn State didn't want him. Okay.
They didn't want him until he committed to Iowa, and then Penn State tried coming in, and he said, "No, I'm in love with Kelvin Bell, and I'm in love with Kirk Ferentz, and I'm in love with the culture at Iowa." He was a guy that just played 1 year of high school football. He liked playing basketball and stuff, and then he played 1 year of high school football, and he was very raw and everything. And of course, LeVar Woods recruits the Arizona area because that's where he lived. And we got in on a few Arizona people that year. We also got in on Urlacher's boy, who ended up going to Notre Dame. And then he played 1 year at Notre Dame and went to USC, and he appeared in a game against us at USC. But that's a long story. So anyway.
Okay. Hey, before we move on, the Driftless Iowan has a question for us. How do you think Hayden Fry would have operated under NIL?
He spent money, all the money he had. There's a lot of secrets at Iowa. I ain't going to tell them, but anyway.
So are we saying that Hayden Fry exactly played by the rules?
There were players at Iowa. They got envelopes full of money. I know a few of them, but one of them started telling the story on the what's it called, the Hurley Gallery pod. You know that one, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, they had Brad Quast on, who was probably the number one linebacker in the country out of Illinois.
Oh, I heard that interview, and he also he started to tell it, and then he said no.
He said, I better not tell it, because the reason he came to Iowa was Barry Alvarez was the best recruiter you could have. He got an All-American or two linebacker every year. He got Brad Quast, and I think the year Brad Quast came, I think that was the year that Melvin Foster also came. They were both first-team All-Americans. And anyway, then Barry Alvarez went to Notre Dame, and Quast wanted to go to Notre Dame with him, and Barry wanted him to take him with him, which kind of pissed Hayden off, and he started telling the story about, and then he quit, why he stayed at Iowa. So anyway, but anyway,
okay. Driftless also
Hayden is like Kirk Signetti. He'd have flew by the seat of his pants, and he wanted to win, So.
Yeah, well, that's right. And the other thing is Hayden, as everybody knows, Hayden would have left if he didn't get his bubble built, the bubble that was built. He would have left, I think he said, for USC. He had an offer, and he would have taken it if Iowa didn't agree to build that bubble.
Yep, about all his coaches said, let's go to USC, be easier to win there, but Hayden loved Iowa, and yeah, he got a few things he wanted and stayed.
Yeah, he did. Okay,
the same guy before that, Lute Olson, they were trying to get him to go to USC, and he stayed. He told him, "Well, if you build a new arena, I'll stay."
Yeah, so. I think Carver, the way it's built, is just not a home court advantage. I'm going to tell you right up front. I don't like it.
No. Most of the new arenas aren't near the home court advantages the old ones were, because the old ones were like barns and guys right on top of you. But
if you look at Hilton Coliseum, that is a home court advantage. There's no doubt in my mind that if we could have something like Hilton, we need to just tear down Carver Hawkeye and rebuild it, and rebuild it.
You always want to do all these things, but you never give the money to do it. A new basketball arena would literally probably cost $200 million or $150 million. If you want to
win.
And Carver, you can win in any arena, and Carver Arena is not that old. I mean,
yeah, but it's just. But you saw the aisles, the way they're spaced out, and they come out down to these little diamonds and everything.
That's for fire purposes.
Yeah.
Because there's no.
Like that. Have you seen Hilton? It's not built like that.
Well, there's only a couple arenas built. Carver's probably the only one built down into the ground. But anyway, you got to let people, in case of a fire, you got to get people out of there. So
okay. The Driftless Iowan also asked, do you believe Ronnie Harmon truly fumbled in the 1986 Rose Bowl? I personally do.
He did. He did. I seen it. He fumbled, but he didn't fumble on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what he meant. You know that.
Ronnie did not, like Chuck Long says, and all the coaches and everything. Ronnie was the greatest teammate ever, and he would never do something like that.
Yeah.
But
okay,
anyway.
before we move on, one more thing from Driftless. They should build a new arena at Highway 1 and I-80 intersection surrounded by a parking lot. Well, gosh, isn't the, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a shopping mall right there?
Highway 1 and Interstate 80?
Yeah.
I didn't know that Highway 1 and Interstate 80 intersected any place. I
I
thought
don't think they
Highway
actually
1.
intersected, but I think you can
No,
get off right near the Highway 1. Isn't that the main strip going through Corville?
Hayden wanted to build a big football stadium out there, north and west of where the big cloverleaf is now, where Interstate 80 and 380 are. And back then it would only cost it about $100 million. Now it would cost $1 billion or something.
Could you just see the traffic jam right there? I mean, there's already a traffic jam, but it would flow a lot easier. It flows a lot easier now the way it's built than it would be back then.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't build it, because then we wouldn't have the wave. So
yeah, okay, all right. I want you to go on to what Wallace had to say, and talk about some of the things he said.
You're talking about Phil Parker? You said Wallace.
Yeah, Parker. I'm sorry.
That's pretty much all I got from Phil Parker. Was Pavia is a real problem. He's not like any quarterback we play. He's like Dante Moore, but Moore don't run the ball 20 times a game or 15 times a game.
Well, that's just actually somebody asked one of the players about that, if he would compare him to Dante Moore, and he goes, maybe a little, he says, but he don't run. Moore don't run that much.
And all any coach is going to say before a bowl game is to brag the other team up. He said, Vandy's got a real good offensive line, a great quarterback. He said he was missing one skill player who sat out, but hell, their backup tight end is a great player. He's a better all-around tight end than Stowers, but not the hybrid Michael Evans type receiver that Stowers is. And I know some people claim Stowers wasn't sitting out the bowl game, but that isn't true. He's sitting out. So
yeah, I believe they confirmed that. Okay. Shoot, I was gonna.
You want to go to LeVar? You want to go to LeVar Woods?
Yeah, in just a minute.
Okay.
I was just thinking that who Pavia actually reminded me of, and I had a hard time coming up with it. I finally figured out one. McSorley from Penn State.
That's what Chad Leistico came up with when he asked Phil, and Phil says, "Oh, I don't know." Like that. I don't know. It's probably a pretty good one. I think Pavia is tougher. Pavia is just the biggest competitor I think I've ever seen. He's like having Walter Payton at quarterback or something. Yeah. Tough guy. If you hit McSorley, he's going down. Pavia might like stiff arm you and get another 3 yards. I love Pavia. So
he's a good quarterback. I just hope on the day we play him that we intercept him a lot. He drops the ball a couple times and we sack him a few times.
But, if there's a bunch of if he does that, I'll predict that I will blow him out. But I don't think he's going to throw a lot of interceptions like you termed it. And then you said fumble a couple times. That would mean that they would turn the ball over 4 or 5 times. I wouldn't expect that, because he's good at protecting the ball. But I hope it happens, because I'm a Hawkeye fan.
It's a pipe dream. Every quarterback has a bad game.
It's not a pipe. It's not a pipe dream if it happens.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you, Dean.
Let's talk about LeVar Woods and his last few days as a Hawkeye and his getting ready to coach his final game.
Yeah. What
did he have to say today? Because I didn't get a chance to listen to that one yet.
It was pretty much all about that. That this is the last go around, and it's kind of emotional, but he's got to. somebody said, "Got any trick plays up your sleeve for your last game?" And he said, "We always do. We always have trick plays in our playbook, but they have to appear in the right defense that you can use them." So anyway.
Oh, hey. Yeah. Okay. Now you didn't mention Bowie by name, but that he was back, right? Or did you?
Yeah, I said that he'd been out all year and had soft tissue injuries all year. I said maybe like Caitlin Clark did, and now he's back, and I seen him practicing today. He's number 0, big, fast wide receiver. He ain't ultra fast, but seen him out there practicing. I thought, boy, that's good. So
yeah, and you also mentioned that Myers is getting some reps with the number 1s at tight end, which I thought excellent because. Maybe we could actually, because he would still be saved for his redshirt year if we actually used him for a couple downs and see how he works out in this game. I don't know if we're taking this serious enough to win the game, or we're going to use this game to. Okay, sorry.
We play every bowl game to win. We're not gonna play the second and third string quarterback, Dean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We take these games seriously, and I think, like I said to a media member today in a thread, I said all the people that talk that bowl games don't matter anymore are always the people sitting at home, and I call them the non-combatants. I said, all these players that show up in the bowl game, they want to win and they play hard. I don't see any, when I watch bowl games, I don't see guys playing half speed. I see them knocking the crap out of each other, even if it's in a freezing pinstripe bowl,
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's my point. That's the point I was trying to make is that the players take these games seriously. The coaches take them seriously. They do want to win. And many, many, many football fans out there want to watch a bowl game or two. I still love the bowl game system. I'm sad that the playoff system is about to destroy it. I mean, we've got the New Year's Six Bowl, which is part of the current playoff system, the quarterfinals on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and then the semis go to 2 of the other bowls on whatever day that is. I have no idea. I've lost track. But
I still enjoyed watching Penn State and Clemson. I still enjoyed watching these bowl games. A lot of the bowl games were better games than the playoff games. There's a couple playoff games that really. There was 2 playoff games that were blowouts. Texas and Oklahoma and Alabama was very poorly played. Miami and Texas A&M was a crap game. I mean, you sit there and watch it and it's like, wow, these teams don't look that great. But anyway.
And so it turns out in the short playoff history, Oklahoma is the only team to lose a large lead and lose the playoff game after they had
really?
They were talking about that, and somebody was talking about that.
Yeah, we haven't had, it used to be limited playoffs when you only had 2 teams for national championship, and then you had 4 for a long time. And it's finally, was last year the first year they went to more than 4?
Yeah, 12 was first time last year.
Oh. So it hasn't. There isn't a long history of it. By the way, Phil Parker said that Buffington looks great. He didn't say he's practicing good. He said he looks great. And Jaden Harrell is the guy practicing with the ones. So I know that.
That's good to know that he's back and he's ready to go. Because
I know
that
still ain't
he was playing. What's that?
He still ain't 100%. He says, but he probably won't be 100% until he probably has some type of surgery. It's like I didn't know Dunker in the USC game when he couldn't play the last quarter. He tore it was either his MCL or his ACL. He didn't completely tear it. They called it a stage 2 tear. And he had to come out because he told the coaches, he says, I cannot pass block. I cannot stand up and dance around with a guy. My knee I can't do it. So they put in Dotzler for the end of the game. But I didn't know that till today. But.
And they also mentioned that Gronowski was not wearing a knee brace during practice, but Gronowski did say in an interview he will wear it during the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no hitting in practice, probably why he wasn't wearing it.
Yeah, when you saw the video that came out, there was no hitting. One line would move and the other line would back up.
Yeah, it's like, and when they were running their plays in scrimmage, they were going like half speed, So.
Yeah.
By the way, wet jet at half speed is still miles faster per hour than I am. So.
Oh yeah. Hey, did we talk about on the last podcast about what Lester had to say about? Oh yeah, we did. We talked about the Helinski. Yeah, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of running out of things here to talk about. I wish I'd had time to listen to every player's video. I put them all up on my Hawkeye page, Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports on Facebook. What's this question? The Driftless Iowa. Does Vanderbilt offer a river navigation Commodore degree? Yes, highway intersects with Highway 80 north of Iowa City on the way to Solon. Thanks for the show. Good stuff.
That's right. He's right.
Yeah. Now I know. I know exactly where he's talking about. I was thinking Highway 1 was the main drag.
I lived in Solon on Highway 1 for 5 years. I'm so dumb, Yeah. I was thinking of Highway 6.
Thank you for watching. Yeah. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, please. Last time I looked, we needed 7 more to get to 600. If you can help me out and make it 6 more, if you would like. Anybody else watching, please get us to 600. We just needed 7 as of the start of the show, I believe. So we're getting there. Oh, actually, it was 6. I think as of this morning, it was 6. And guys, you can go to our YouTube channel. We got a whole bunch of shorts there that we clipped out from our shows. If you don't want to spend a half hour to an hour to 2 hours watching the whole show, watch some short clips. I mean, there are a lot of good clips out there. One of them today I sent you, Kelvin, had well over 1,000 views already.
Cool.
And that was just from last night. So that's amazing.
Yeah. The one thing that was newsworthy, which people might be taking out of context, some people like to overreact, was asked Kamari Moulton about the new running backs coach and losing Liddell Betts. And he said, everybody in the running back room was recruited by Liddell and we loved him. So it's been kind of hard like that. So everybody in their comments was saying, he was saying they got to get rid of that running back coach. So, which I don't think he meant that. He was just talking about how much they loved Liddell. And to have Liddell was able to keep all the running backs happy with their playing time. And he, and one of the things he'd been through it in the NFL, he'd been through it at Iowa as a running back, and he understood what these guys were thinking in their mind, so he could head them off at the pass. And so that's why I think Liddell Betts was a huge loss. But he's on to bigger and better things, and I hope he's doing well at his new position. I believe with the Giants. The Jets are the Giants. He's trying to improve his resume just like LeVar did. I don't know what Liddell's goal is in the future, But this running back coach, after Liddell left, which Kirk said he was kind of surprised, but not surprised also because as a CEO of Iowa football, he's got to expect his coaches are going to leave once in a while, and always be prepared. And they hired Lester, knew this guy and said he knew the Shanahan offense, which Liddell didn't. The coaches that were at Iowa when Lester come, that's a lot to take in as a new offense, and even to know all the numbers and the codes when they call a play, and to soak that all in when you're not running the plays yourself. As an ex-football player, and they're ex-football players, it's a lot easier to remember everything if you're doing it. If you're in black formation, you know what black is. If you're in red formation, you know what that is. If you're in orange formation, you know what that is because you're doing it. It's easier to remember when you actually do things. But I wouldn't overreact to the comment about that they miss Liddell and everything. McNeil, they interviewed him too, and that's when he said that he could be healthy for the game. He's just trying to get healthy for the game, and he talked about how the running back, he never played for Liddell. He was recruited by him, but he commented how the running back room is so tight and so much like a family. And I don't think Kamari was complaining, but anyway, is what it is. So
Kamari shouldn't complain. He's our number one running back, has the most yards as a running back this year, and it's his fault that he hasn't broke any big ones like KJ did last year, because he allows himself to get tackled because he can't get out of those tackles like KJ used to.
Yeah, I think Kamari's a good running back. I'm not gonna complain about Kamari.
I'm not complaining, but if
he said it's his fault. You said it was his fault.
Yes, it is.
And Kamari was injured half the year, and he's still got 800 yards, so he ain't too bad. He just doesn't have the closing speed after he gets downfield. So
yeah, well, once somebody gets hands on him, that's hard. It's hard for him. He doesn't break tackles the way KJ did. I miss KJ. I wish he was still playing. After watching Keegan Johnson, I wish he was still playing for us. So I wish you know what I mean?
I love the guys we got. I'm not. Yeah. I'm fine. And I do not remember KJ breaking many tackles. It was like last year he had holes where he scored 40-yard touchdowns where nobody touched him. That was his deal. If you gave him a hole where nobody touched him, he could go all the way. And Kamari can't quite do that like that. But
yeah. Now, last night watching our former Hawkeye at the Minnesota, the cornerback, John Nestor, he almost cost Minnesota the game last night. Minnesota was fortunate that they won the game.
Well, he also won the game for him with his interception, and he had some great plays too. I'd take him back in a minute, but
I would have. I didn't want him to leave. We could have used him this year a couple times, but he wanted more playing time, and I guess he just didn't feel he was going to get that behind the two guys.
They kept saying he was second team All Big Ten, which I didn't remember that. I thought, do you have him mixed up with Lutmer? But maybe he was second team on some All Big Ten team. I don't know. But
okay. Well, this would be a good place to kind of end this. I think we got out the information, and we'll come back again, each day as long as we got something, because we're going to be here tomorrow night, recapping the women's game, and probably Monday.
There'll probably be more news conferences tomorrow for football too.
Yeah, and we'll have more football news too. So stay tuned. Hit the like button. I also want to give a special shout out, if you don't see it on the banner, to Hawkeye Nation on Facebook. I believe it's actually Hawkeye Nation 16 if you try to look at them, because there's about 20 Hawkeye Nations when you search the groups. But he's allowing me to post my stuff on our videos on his page, which we have an arrangement worked out. And so I want to just give a special shout out to the person. I don't even know the person's name. Whoever runs Hawkeye Nation, I appreciate him doing that for us, because normally people can't post there except for him.
Cool.
So yeah.
Now, is Hawkeye Nation on YouTube, or is it an X platform type?
Yeah,
deal? Do you know?
he's on X. I think he's on X as well as Facebook. I don't know about YouTube.
It's like T. Hink has a podcast, but it's only if you're on the X platform. I don't know what it's called.
I need to find that out too. I need to get in. I think he's on the same time we are, so that would probably be hard for me unless he has a replay. But I would love to see his show too.
I don't know.
You know, T. Hink, if you ever watch this, please send us a link on to your podcast, or I can just go look it up on myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I've said it 100 times. Hit the like button as well. We'd appreciate it. We do appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back tomorrow night, Sunday, and we'll start out recapping the game, and we'll probably have some more football news. So should be good. See you guys then. Thank you for watching.